With the rain and everything, we didn't really sound check. Hi, Facebook. All right. So here we are at the 30th week of Sunday songs. I know, right? How crazy is that? Wow. So, which just tells you a little bit about how long we've been in this crazy pandemic world we're all living in. All right, let me. Oh boy, the rain actually did not do at all what the radar said it was going to. So I'm really glad we're in here under the porch. And all right. So, you know, we've been doing themes, and what I decided I would do this week for what is our last officially scheduled week, although I'm sure we'll be back sometime. Especially, I told Galen, because so many people have said, like, this has been really great therapy for them and really great place to kind of just feel like maybe things are okay in the world.
And something to look forward to.
Yeah, and I told Galen if the election doesn't go well, that we may have to do a little music therapy session over here. So
Either way,
either way. But and I'm certain we will do some holiday something or other too. And this seems like it's going to be really loud for you guys, isn't it? Does it seem? No? All right. So, we decided to finish it off with originals. So some of you know, I think I've talked about, I have an album that's supposed to be finishing sometime soon, and it will, I swear. But we're going to start with the title track on the album, which is called Little Yellow Plums. Some of you have heard this one. Trying to let go of all those things that tie with vocals and guitar? Sue's not convinced.
I can't hear your words very well, but
Okay.
that is where I'm sitting.
I feel like the vocals are low. Like they're, it's,
Vocals are a bit low.
yeah.
Now you can hear the words. Like, I'm not looking at it. I'm like,
Yeah, even in my own monitor, I was like, I can't really hear my vocals. All right, is that gonna be, oh, those little yellow plums? Is that gonna blast you out now? No, okay. And I don't know if I've told y'all, and my mom loves it when I tell the story of the little yellow plums. So if any of you are familiar, there's an international art colony that's been going on for since 1998. It happens in early November, although unfortunately it's not happening this year, over on Bald Head Island. And that's actually where I wrote this song. And the little yellow plums for me originally were the little yellow plums that they use in Macedonia to make basically a moonshine called rakia. And I had stopped over at the colony, and it was a little stressed that day. And one of the artists said to me, actually Gail Tustin said, hey, I have some rakia, you want a sip? And it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, but you're on island time, so why not? And I said, sure. And I said, what is it? And she said, well, it's from Macedonia, it's rakia, it's made from little yellow plums. And I was like, ooh, I love that, little yellow plums. And it kind of stuck in my head, and it took the edge off. And so I started to write this song about little yellow plums. And as I started writing it, I started realizing that for me, really, the little yellow plums were all the artists who come every year to this magical place. And then started thinking about it even more broadly, that these little yellow plums are all the people that surround us, that we love and care about, and they're the ones that make our lives worth living. And that the happy machine in that song is actually in Macedonia, the still that they use to make rakia. The word for it translated into English is happy machine. So that's actually the name of the still. And at which point I was like, okay, this song is now just writing itself. Little yellow plums in a happy machine. And so the happy machine became that place, that island, the place you go that restores your soul. And at this moment, the little yellow plums are all of you and all of you on Facebook, and the happy machine is this porch right here. So thank you so much for everything you guys have given me all these months. All right, so the next song is actually the first song I fully wrote and completed. And it was inspired from my friend Isabel, which you've heard me sing the Isabel song. This was actually inspired initially from her son that I had just met, named Nwadi. And Nwadi was 3 at the time. He's now older, 7, 8. Anyway, older. Kids have a way of doing that. All right. It's called Teach Me to Play. I met a young man, he had an old soul. His heart was purer than gold. It's hard to believe he was just 3, but he was much wiser than me. And I said, son, can you show me the way? Son, can you teach me to play? Son, can you show me the way? Son, can you teach me to play? He laughed and he smiled and he said, just go wild. But that was never my style. He said, take off and run. Let's have some fun before this day is done. And I said, son, can you show me the way? Son, can you teach me to play? Son, can you show me the way? Son, can you teach me to play? that song is played by Mr. Galen, Hunsucker. All right. Okay. So Galen and I love Christmas music, so we will at some point do a Christmas on the porch or Christmas in the yard or something. We'll find a day when it's going to be good weather in Des Moines. Wow, that was a hip check to Iowa. In December. So I have 3 holiday songs I've written. I want to write more and eventually do a holiday album, but people don't get to hear the holiday songs very often because normally you don't play Christmas songs in October, but we're going to do it anyway. So this one is a song called Day Called Christmas, and I feel like I need to explain one little line so it doesn't sound like my family is completely self-centered. Right at the top of the song, there's a line that says, Santa is ready to greet our family. And it's not that we think that Santa just greets our family at all. It's that in the 80s, my family acquired a Santa. I think my dad originally bought it. And he's in a red vinyl jumpsuit with a red vinyl hat. And he's singing, here comes Santa, bringing the presents to you. And I'm not kidding at all. And he goes on and on and on, and he dances and everything. So that is the Santa who's ready to greet us, because he greets us every Christmas morning. When the snow falls, it's quiet. The angels on the tree, and Santa is ready to greet our family. I remember those years when we couldn't sleep, and Santa been here, and what did he bring? Then the hour would come, we'd wake from our beds to see the stockings we'd hung by the chimney with care were filled to the brim, they were topped with a pear. Then we reached for the tree to see what it held in store. From youngest to oldest, one gift at a time, we opened our treasures, we take our time. As the world slips away, we cherish the day called Christmas. Over the years, so much has changed. Our family has grown, and some moved away. But this time of year, there's one thing I know for sure. We'll all be together round the tree, laughing and sharing our history. Time will stand still as we add to the memories. Youngest to oldest, one gift at a time. We open our treasures, we take our time. As the world slips away, we cherish the day called Christmas. Youngest to oldest, one gift at a time. We open our treasures, we take our time. As the world slips away, we cherish the day called Christmas. We cherish the day called Christmas. We cherish the day called Christmas. Thank you. A little Christmas in October. We're going to keep going with the Christmas theme, but now I need to put on this capo. And where see here. All right. One more time, I have to tell you that we tune because we care, because you do not want to hear Galen playing with me out of tune, because then it'll sound like Galen's out of tune. For those of you who have not met Galen Hunsucker, and those of you who do know Galen Hunsucker, I just have to take a moment to say that none of this would have happened all these weeks if it weren't for Galen and his beautiful wife Lisa, who is actually the reason we started this, who is up in the mountains away from all of us and enjoying herself, I think. But yeah, Galen, both as a musical collaborator on stage and performance, but also in songwriting, Galen's just, my songwriting would not be if it weren't for Galen. So, all right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and believe me, mid-song, if he does a solo that you absolutely love and y'all want to start clapping for him, that will not throw me off or bother me one little bit. That'll just make my heart happy. So I can't always get in saying his name before I have to sing something without cutting off his solo, which is why I don't always say Galen Hunsucker and then, jump in. So please always feel free to applaud for Galen. All right. This is another Christmas one I wrote called The Best Part of Christmas. For days, Christmas is so many things. It's chocolate and cookies and cakes by the pound. It's small twinkling lights all over the town. But the best part of Christmas is just being together. Nothing else matters, and for a few precious hours the world stops in honor of love. We remember the gift that we have in each other, and we're blessed beyond measure. And the best part of Christmas is being together. The best part of Christmas is love. Singing and stories and snow-covered lanes. It's cards in the mailbox and red candy canes. But the best part of Christmas is just being together. Nothing else matters, and for a few precious hours the world stops in honor of love. We remember the gift that we have in each other, and we're blessed beyond measure. And the best part of Christmas is being together. The best part of Christmas is love. Love that surrounds us and binds us together. Love that sustains us no matter the weather. Love, love, love. But the best part of Christmas is just being together. Nothing else matters, and for a few precious hours the world stops in honor of love. We remember the gift that we have in each other, and we're blessed beyond measure. And the best part of Christmas is being together. The best part of Christmas is love. And the best part of Christmas is being together. The best part of Christmas so much. Yeah, that is the best part of Christmas. All right.
Do the third Christmas song.
Do the third, yes, we're going to. And actually, this one, we could technically do other times of the year because this really is just a holiday song. This is a holiday song. And this one I wrote, actually, it started on an Easter Sunday. Sorry, I got confused. I'm confused because my string wasn't responding to what I was doing. Now it is. Okay. All right, so this one, this one's just a fun one and really is good for any time of year. It's called Holiday Kind of Day. For some people, holidays are not so fun. Some people wish they would never come. Well, I'm not one. 2, 3, but it's a holiday kind of day. It's a holiday kind of day. Our kids get all dressed up, all decked out in style. Remember the magic we knew as a child. It's a holiday kind of day. It's a holiday kind of day. Stay up late, break the rules. Why not? There's no friends together all around. So much treasure to be found. Why can't every day be this cool? When it's a holiday kind of day. It's a holiday kind of day. Get all dressed up, all decked out in style. Remember the magic we knew as a child. When it's a holiday kind of day. It's a holiday kind of day. Lay around, play some games, run up and down. Time flies, it's not fair. Days like this seem so rare. Why can't every day be this good? When it's a holiday kind of day. When it's a holiday kind of day. Our rooms get all dressed up, all decked out in style. Remember the magic we knew as a child. It's a holiday kind of day. 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 Our rooms get all dressed up, all decked out in style. Remember the magic we knew as a child. When it's a holiday kind of day. It's a holiday kind of day. It's a holiday kind of day. It's a holiday. It's a holiday. It's a holiday kind of day. Thank you. I feel like that's my Cyndi Lauper song. Can't you see? Can't you just imagine Cyndi Lauper doing that? You hear that, Cyndi Lauper? Are you out there listening? All right. All right, this one is one of mine. By the way, only the first 2 are on the album. None of the rest of the songs that I'm doing for y'all tonight are on the album. That's the Little Yellow Plums. So we'll have to do another one. Yeah, so this one was requested by my mom. It's one of her favorites of mine, and it is one of my favorites as well. This one was written about the sweet love of my life, who left me a few years ago. As she, and then anyway decided, but her name was Bob's dog. Bob's dog. Yeah. I know. So it kind of.
Your dog longer than he was Bob's dog.
Yeah, she was my dog more than she was Bob's dog. But yeah, that's a fun one. I love that one. All right, so this one, I'm going to slow it down just a little bit to show that I do have some of those. And this one I thought was, oh, actually, no, these two are on the album.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we have two more from the album. I forgot. So this is one of those situations where I started out writing one song and I ended up writing a different song. And that happens. And I started out writing a song, just the phrase, which is the title of the song, Love You Tomorrow. And I thought, well, isn't that a funny little tongue-in-cheek, like, you know, you're fantastic, but I can't deal with you right now, and I will love you tomorrow. And I thought it was going to be a little tongue-in-cheek. And then as I started to write it, it got a little more serious than that. And one of the things that I discovered in writing it, and I don't know, maybe true for other people, but is that I don't know how to be angry with people. And so I put that emotion off in different ways. And so as I was writing it and writing this idea of loving you tomorrow, I realized that it's okay to be angry, and that's an acceptable emotion to have, as long as we don't hang on to it forever and ever. And so this song just sort of took a turn. So I hope you enjoy it. Love you tomorrow. Some things just happen, and there's no one to blame. My head understands it, but my heart's not the same. I've been rolling it over, and here's where I am. I will love you tomorrow, but tonight understand. I will love you tomorrow. Right now, just let me be. I know you need me to forgive you. I heard you say I'm sorry. Right now, I need to be angry. This part is for me. I will love you tomorrow, but this part is for me. The news, it keeps coming, and there's nowhere to hide. And the sight of you reminds me of all that is gone. Somehow we'll get through this, but for now all I have is I will love you tomorrow, but tonight understand. I will love you tomorrow. Right now just let me be. I know you need me to forgive you. I heard you say I'm sorry. Right now I need to be angry. This part is for me. I will love you tomorrow. This part is for me. Take it, Galen. When did I learn to hide it and put all of you first? Well, the floodgates have opened, and it's decades of hurt. Let me have this moment. Please hear what I say. I will love you tomorrow. It's just too hard today. Yes, I will love you tomorrow. Right now, just let me be. I know you need me to forgive you. I heard you say I'm sorry. Right now, I need to be angry. You are welcome to use it with your clients.
And when is this album coming out? We just had to
Well, it's getting close. It's getting very, very close. So it's all recorded and ready. We're working on the graphic design stuff and the printing and all of that. So it's very, very close. And
can we give it for Christmas gift?
I hope so. I hope so. That is a goal. And BethCrookham.com is sort of up and running. It's not fully full-fledged. You can buy one song. You can download one song, Isabel, on BethCrookham.com, but eventually you'll be able to get all of it. And there will be CDs and possibly vinyl as well. I hope so. And definitely autographs. Those are free. Those are free. All right. This one is one of my absolute favorites. This one was written, inspired by my friend Innocent, who's an amazing artist. He lives in Rwanda. He is Rwandan and lives in Rwanda. And I was going to explain more about it, but I think the song says enough all by itself. So this song is called So Innocent. little concert within this set. We're going to go to the couple of songs that I've written that maybe have a little bit of a political bent to them. But Galen has a song that he loves to play at election time, just as a little reminder. So I'm going to turn it over to Galen for one. This is not an original. You'll recognize it. Galen Hunsucker is no joke on the guitar. All right. So I'm going to do one little commercial because you never know who's going to be listening to this or watching this, but we must vote. We must vote. If you live in North Carolina, early voting is open. It is one stop. You can register and vote all at the same place. If you don't live in North Carolina and you don't know what's going on in your state, you can go to vote.org no matter where you live, and you can easily and quickly look up that information. You can likely get registered there if you aren't registered already, and it is so important. Democracy doesn't work if citizens don't get involved. We must vote. So that is my commercial. Vote, vote, vote. All right.
Yes.
Okay. Got that off my chest. All right. Actually, it's still on my chest.
You'll be here all night.
All right. So this is a song that I wrote actually since we've been doing all of these 30 weeks of Sunday songs. And a lot of you have heard it before, but I think it bears repeating. This was written after the passing of the absolutely incredible Honorable John Lewis, and written in his memory for all the good trouble, necessary trouble that he got into. So. Walking and walking all over this land, we're bound to get into good trouble. While we're walking and walking, won't you take my hand, and we'll get into good trouble, necessary trouble. Talking and talking all over this land, we're bound to get into good trouble. While we're talking and talking, won't you take a stand, and we'll get into more good trouble, necessary trouble. Good trouble, necessary trouble. Good trouble, necessary trouble. It started with Jesus in the Holy Land. He was always stocked in good trouble. The Nobles were nervous about this peaceful man. He kept stirring up good trouble, necessary trouble. Then there was Gandhi, a little mighty man. He was good at finding good trouble. He gave voice to the voiceless in his homeland and taught the world about good trouble, necessary trouble. Next came Martin down in Birmingham. It was his turn to start some good trouble. He kept marching and marching till they struck him down, but he was never afraid of good trouble, necessary trouble. Remember Dorothy and Ellie and maybe Emmeline and Elizabeth paved the way. Women of strength, they did not back down. They started up good trouble. The youngest among them was the boy from Troy. That boy could get into good trouble. His final words implore us all, go out and get into good trouble, necessary trouble. Good trouble, necessary trouble. Good trouble, necessary trouble. Keep walking and walking, won't you take my hand, and we'll get into good trouble. Keep talking and talking, won't you take a stand, and we'll get into more good trouble, necessary trouble. Good trouble, necessary trouble. Good trouble, necessary trouble. Come on, good trouble, necessary trouble. Good trouble, necessary trouble. Thank you, and thank you, John Lewis. May you rest in peace, and may the rest of us go out and find some good trouble.
Yeah.
All right. Back to the guitar. By the way, we have two other people on the stage. Well, not people that we haven't introduced, but important members of the band. This is Nick, and that's Desi. Yeah.
Yeah, she's over than me.
Wow.
Desi is amazing. And Desi's on the album.
Yes, she is.
Oh, and Nick is too. They're both on the album. So, all right. So this is a song that I actually just had the great honor of sharing during a political event for Secretary of State Elaine Marshall, North Carolina Secretary of State. And I was honored that in choosing songs for her event, she selected this one. And and it's actually going to be used, I think, for a few other events.
Cunningham Tuesday night.
Yeah, so this one is called Country Built on Love. And believe it or not, I didn't write it this year. I love where I come from. I love our star-spangled banner. It is the land of the free and the home of the brave. I grew up learning in a land full of honor, where our leaders were noble. It seems much different today. Now I hear children crying. I've seen too much blood, and the bullets keep flying. I think we've had enough of your insults and tirades, of your self-serving ways. The soul of our nation is not yours to trade. We'll rise up and say, you don't speak for us when you tear people down. We want a country built on love. We're not afraid. We won't back down. We'll stand on our feet. We'll stare you down. We won't lash out. We won't use our fists. Our strength's in our hearts. We are stronger than this. And we'll rise up and say, don't speak for us when you tear people down. We want a country built on love. This country's built on the courage of a people oppressed, who knew what they stood for, who faced down the test. They learned from the natives who showed them the way. How lucky we'd be if we could see it today. And we'll rise up and say, you don't speak for us when you tear people down. We want a country built on love. And we'll rise up and say, you don't speak for us when you tear people down. We want a country built on love. And we'll rise up. Don't speak for us. Don't tear people down. In a country built on love. Thank you. Thank you.
Small but mighty crowd.
Small but mighty crowd. I know, but who knows how many we have on Facebook? We could be a gigantic crowd. All right. So I've been closing with this song, which is not one of mine. This is Willie Nelson. And we are going to close with this. However, there's another little surprise right after this song. So I'll just leave it at that.
And I'm always up playing.
Yeah. Yeah, Galen will always play a Willie
You
tune.
changed my life. It wasn't for Willie Nelson, I might not be here.
So, yeah, if you didn't hear that on Facebook, Galen said if it wasn't for Willie Nelson, he might not be here. And that is very true. And if you ever have a chance, that and PBS, because it was actually on PBS that you, anyway, it's more longer story than we have time for right now, but it's a good one and worth hearing. Okay. If you don't like who's in there, vote them out. That's what election day is all about. And the biggest gun we got is called the ballot box. If you don't like who's in there, vote them out. Vote them out. Vote them out. When they're gone, we'll sing and dance and shout. And we'll bring some new ones in, and they'll start the show again. If you don't like who's in there, vote them out. It's a bunch of clowns you voted in. Election day is coming round again. And if you don't like it now, you can change it anyhow. If you don't like who's in there, vote them out. Come on, vote them out. Vote them out. When they're gone, we'll sing and dance and shout. And we'll bring some new ones in, and they'll start the show again. If you don't like who's in there, vote them out. Vote them out. Vote them out. And when they're gone, we'll sing and dance and shout. And we'll bring some new ones in, and they'll start the show again. If you don't like who's in there, vote them out. And we'll bring some new ones in, and they'll start the show again. If you don't like who's in there, vote them out. And if you don't like who's in there, vote them out. And don't vote, shut your mouth. vote. All right. So this is my little surprise I have for y'all. I've been working on an idea for a song, and I've got it somewhat written, but written enough that I wanted to share it with y'all. And it's called Sundays in the Yard.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's gonna start out kind of like this. Do I remember this, Galen?
Oh, no, sure.
No, that's not right. So over top of this group, there's going to be some really cool lyrics. They're going to be awesome as soon as I write them. And they're going to be lyrics talking about this crazy year we've been living through. COVID-19. Stay-at-home orders, washing hands, wearing face masks. More serious things like watching the lynching of George Floyd happen right before our eyes. But through all of that, one of the things that we had that helped us stay sane. Sundays in the yard, there's music. Sundays in the yard, we come together to restore our spirits. Sundays in the yard, Sundays in the yard, together. Sundays in the yard, there's music. Sundays in the yard, we gather together to restore our spirits. Sundays in the yard. Ooh, I have to learn my own song. And then there's going to be some more lyrics here, because I mean the year is not over. There were hurricanes, there were fires, there was a derecho. I didn't even know such a thing existed. A derecho. That was those crazy winds that came through the Midwest. My family actually experienced the derecho. Took out a lot of Cedar Rapids, Iowa. They're still recovering from it. And there were so many people out of work. I'm going to plug right now the performing arts, an industry that is still shut down. So if you know a performing artist, try to give them some work. You know, out of work musicians, maybe hire them for a little dinner party at your house or something. There's one standing behind me. He's also a phenomenal guitar teacher. And again, through it all, Sundays in the yard, together. Sundays in the yard, there's music. Sundays in the yard, we gather together to restore our spirits. Sundays in the yard. Sundays in the yard, together. Sundays in the yard, there's music. Sundays in the yard, we gather together to restore our spirits with Sundays in the yard. Sundays in the yard, together. Sundays in the yard, there's music. Sundays in the yard, we gather together to restore our spirits. Sundays in the yard, Sundays in the yard, Sundays in the yard, Sundays in the yard, Sundays in the yard. Sundays in the yard. It's going to be something like that.
Oh, yeah.
But it's for all of you guys and everybody who's been joining in. Thank you so much. Facebook, thank you. Yes. Thank you. Oh, and I forgot to mention, if you do want to give Galen a tip, He uses, well, if you're right here and you have cash, he loves cash. But if you don't have cash on you or you're on Facebook, you can use Venmo, and it's at Galen, Galen hyphen Hunsucker, Hunsucker. Thank you for coming out. I truly love and appreciate each one of you.
Thank you.
Don't forget to vote.